Welcome to the Eureka Learnings YouTube channel. Today I am discussing about very interesting project, an important project, end-to-end MLOps pipeline, friends. So for this I am using some company earnings analysis data set, so taken from the Security and Exchange Commission reports. Okay, this is like a financial data set. Okay, we are analyzing sentiments and all those, how the company is performing, all those type of things. So don't skip this video, please watch this video till the end. So for this video, for deploying on all those things, I'm using AWS SageMaker and all those things I'm using. So this is like a cloud thing. So this is about the interaction, friends. Let's go into the project. So the project name is Understanding Trends in Company Valuation with NLP. Okay, so in this notebook what we are doing, we are demonstrating how to summarize and derive sentiments of SEC, Security and Exchange Commission reports, filed by this is a public organization. So what we are doing, we derive overall market sentiment about the organization through financial or news articles and some period, okay, on all the sentiments. So this is the some overall idea, friends, what we are doing. For this we are using Amazon SageMaker pipelines. So for this is why we are using Amazon SageMaker pipelines is because easy to use CI/CD pipelines, and for building all those ML stuff, automation, all those things, this is a very useful. So normally if we are doing orchestration, if you want to do deployment, integration, training, all those things, monitoring, it will take lot of time, friends. But if we are using pipelines, we can reduce lot of time we are spending on these things. So all these things are available in the SageMaker pre-built, so it will be easy for us to share or work on this type of large projects. Okay, we have to install all the necessary packages like SageMaker Studio Image Build. I'm installing. Okay, after that we have to install SageMaker transformers. For this I am using transformer models, that's why I'm installing transformers, typing, sentence piece, fiscal year. Okay, this some SageMaker Jumpstart Industry. This is a Python SDK, friends. So all this I am installing. After that we have to import the packages. So Boto 3, Boto Core, Panda, SageMaker. In the SageMaker, so I am using transformer models, right? For that I am using Hugging Face library. For that, from the SageMaker I am importing Hugging Face, and from the SageMaker I am importing pipelines. And for creating workflow, we have to create model step, and for registration of model we have to import a register model, and for processing and all those steps we have to import all the necessary things. So I am importing, friends. After that we have to create a custom container. To achieve that, first we have to build a Docker image, and we have to push to the Elastic Container Registry. Okay, so how can we do? We can done using Docker client and AWS CLI in our local machine, friends. Okay, so first we have to import Boto 3. So we have to define all the region names, what is the our account and what we are doing, what is the container image URI, all those things we have to define. That is the first step, friends. So here I am finding region boto3.session.region_name, and after my account. Okay, I am getting all the account details, and this is our script processor. I am defining like this, and this container image URI. So this is a standard, friends. If you want whatever you want to put in all those variables, automatically it will replace here. Okay, so that is about the create a custom container, friends. Then we have to grant the permission to SageMaker. So we have to first add permissions to SageMaker IAM role. So we have to so based upon that we can perform our actions. So okay, so what we have to pass IAM pass role we have to using like that. And for after that, if you want to build a trust relationship, that is one window will pop up, friends. Here we have to pass assume role. Okay, so that is about the all those about the permissions, friends, the IAM role and all those policies. So let's come into the, we have to build a Docker image, right? For ML for end-to-end deployment, we have to build a Docker image. So in the Google Colab also we can define a Docker image, but if you are using Visual Studio Code or any other IDEs, we can create some file and we can define all those things. But in the Colab also we can do, in the Jupyter Notebook also we can do. So we can now build a custom Docker file and use CLI tool to building the image from the Docker file. Okay, that is the first we have to write a Docker file. Using that Docker file we have to create an image. So our Docker file is going to be pretty simple, friends. It will be copy of the open source Python, the Python image, and the contain installation of all the necessary things. Okay, for our NLP pipeline we are using Boto 3 and SageMaker SDK, SageMaker Jumpstart, all those things we will do, friends. Okay, so for if you want to use Jupyter Notebook or Colab, if you want to write a Docker file in that cell, we have to use this magic command, friends. Okay, write file Docker file. Okay, so we have to put that in the first. After that we can define, we have to define Python image. Okay, so this one I am using light version. After that we have to we have to install all the necessary dependencies. Normally we will do a requirements.txt, but in Colab we don't have that type of structure, right? That's why I'm installing using this command. What are the necessary dependencies I need? Okay, so we are using NLTK also for processing and all those stuff. For NLTK also we have to run this command, run python 3 -c import, and after that download. So these are two separate steps, right? We have to define like this. Okay, then environment we have to Python buffer equal to true and entry point Python 3. So this is about the Docker file, friends. If you run this cell, it will this Docker file will be written. So what it will do, so this Docker file will create in the local projects directory. We can run the sm docker build command to build and publish this Docker image, friends. So okay, then this come into this thing. If you want to build that Docker image from the Docker file, we have to run this command from sm means SageMaker sm docker build dot repository, whatever script processor we have defined, we have to define. So this is the syntax, friends. So then if you run this command, you can build the Docker image. Okay, so this is all about creating a container and Docker image, friends. Okay, up to this you guys understood clearly. So this is simple process, friends. So this Docker file, this most of the steps are repetitive if you are doing any deployment. Okay, only some based requirements will change, this type of only some steps will change, friends. Okay, let's go into, we have to define some parameters for our project. So we are defining S3 Boto 3 dot resource S3. So S3 like a bucket to store the data. Okay, region as I mentioned previously, we can get the region name like this, Boto 3 dot session dot region underscore name. And SageMaker session we have to define, create we have to create instance SageMaker dot session. We have to role, it will get the role based upon what IAM role we have defined based upon the policies. So SageMaker role is after extracting role we are assigning to SageMaker role. And default bucket we are taking only default bucket, and whatever prefix we want to, like a project name or application name. And the for S3 client Boto 3 dot client, and we have to give reason, then we are taking from the reason variable. Okay, then we are creating a SageMaker Boto client. For deploy model we need some instances. So like these are like a virtual machines. So I'm using this ml.m4.text large. So this is a very large instance, friends. Okay, computational instance. So you can define like this also, but I am using this ml.x large. Okay, and inference instances we have to pass all these are also different VMs. And for transform instance I am using m5 dot, and for processing instance I am using m4. And ticker means Amazon. So this is a company, later I will explain, friends. So here I am printing all the SageMaker role and the bucket details, friends. Okay, so we have to define parameters to parameterize the pipeline execution. Okay, using SageMaker pipelines we can define the steps to be included in a pipeline but then use a parameter to modify the pipeline when we go to execute the pipeline, friends, without need of modifying the pipeline. Okay, so we have to define some default parameters, friends. For first thing, we have to specify default number of instances for parameter processing stuff. Okay, for processing instance count, I am taking that as a variable, parameter integer name, processing instance count, and default value equal to 1. Okay, and specify default instance type for processing stuff. For processing instance type, we have to same parameter string. We have to here, instead of for count we are taking integer, but this is a type, right? For string we have to pass default value processing instance. Okay, so we have already defined the processing instances. So like this is M4. Okay, then we have to specify the location of inference data for data processing stuff. So we have to use S3 bucket details, friends. Okay, and ticker. So whatever ticker CLK for the pipeline. So parameter string name, inference, ticker CIK, and default value I am passing as Amazon. Already we defined ticker, friends. So for model approval we have to pass some default method. So I am passing pending manual approval as a default value. So if you want to register a new model, we have to use model register deploy. You go parameter string, and we can pass, if you want to create a new, we have to pass default value y, it means yes. Okay, then coming to SCC dataset, friends. Okay, so for this dataset we have to install this SageMaker Jumpstart Industry SDK. So how this SDK will help? So we have to install this package. Okay, then we have to, it will be useful for retrieval, parsing, transforming, scoring, text. For complex process and different algorithms we can use this package. So in order to make this seamless and stable for the user, the functionality is packaged into SageMaker container. Okay, so we can easily load and install. So we are installing, friends. After installing we have to import for data loader, and this is like a database, friends, EDGARDA. Okay, this is like a config, so where the data will be like this. So all the data set config will be put in this in this. Okay, so we are obtaining SCC data using the SDK. So first we are defining dataset configurations. So for dataset configurations we have to use edguard dataset config. Okay, that method we have to pass some parameters, whatever companies you want to extract. So I'm using Amazon and Google. So list of stock tickers, so that are the company name, and Facebook. Okay, form underscore types. So these are in that board, these are defined 10K and 10Q, and from which date to which date you want to extract the data. Okay, for whatever email, for extracting all those things we have to give some email, so we are giving that one. After creating dataset configurations we have to load the data. For in the data loader method there are some parameters are there. Okay, role, we defined the role using SageMaker, and the instance count, instance type, what instance we have to use, and volume size in GBs, and these are for volume keys for processing, key ID for processing. Okay, outputs, how much time you have to give, how much time it can run, and like a timeout, friends. Okay, this is a session object, SageMaker session. Okay, then we have to use data underscore data load of the configurations we have to give, the data bucket. Okay, and the CSV file. Okay, this is about the data, friends. So output will be CSV file. Okay, so we are creating some directory as a data. Okay, printing default bucket, and I'm downloading from the S3 bucket. I'm downloading the file. Okay, so it is there in the bucket, right? That's why I'm passing default bucket. Okay, all those things under the CSV file. Then I'm loading using pd.read_csv. Okay, So now this we have to define all the pipelines, friends. So data processing. So first is the data pre-processing, right? Means extract all the data and news about the company. So we have to define a processing stuff. Okay. Okay, so we will define a processing step to extract 10K and 10Q forms for a specific organization, either using the company stock ticker symbol or CIK central index key used to look up reports. Okay. So so here I am explaining about this code snippet, friends. So this is using the AWS SDK Boto 3 to create Amazon SageMaker script processor object. Okay. So this script processor is used to run a script in the specified container environment for a data processing in the Amazon SageMaker. Okay, so these are the following some parameters command used to be executed in the script processor. So we have to so we are using Python, right, and all those things will be in Python. So we have to define command as a Python 3. This is the syntax to define in the command. And image URI. So this is a container image URI, friends. Already we have defined in the above. Okay, and the what about IAM role, instance count, how many instances we are using for this, and the type of instance, which VM we are using. So all this. So the instance type we are using C5 2x large, and we are creating a we are creating script processor, friends. Command Python image URI role and all those things we are giving. Okay, so we have created a processing step to process the. This is about the loading, friends. Okay, that's what we have defined the processing step. Then we have to create a processing step, friends. So I will also explain. So what it will do. So this is a background. So we have to define a data set script URI. So this will contain a S3 URI. We have to give S3 URI where the data processing script will be stored. Okay. Normally it will use the default bucket, friends. And S3 client upload file. This code uploads the local file to the S3 bucket. Okay. Create a data set step. It creates a processing step object representing processing step in Amazon SageMaker. Okay, these contain some parameters. The name of the what is the name of the processing step processor, which is the data set processor object outputs. What are the outputs? Okay, job or a list of so job arguments, list of command line arguments, friends. Okay, so this is a script URI from the S3 bucket. We are getting the data. Okay, we have to upload a file, data file, all those things. Okay, which file you want to upload, in which bucket you want to upload, all those things. And we have to create a data set step, right? So processing step, the name. Okay, also all those steps. So after that, in the output, SageMaker has to process, right? That's why SageMaker.processing output, the name of the output, from which source you are getting, all those things. Okay, from which what is the destination after processing, where it should be there. Okay, so that's. And for job arguments, friends, these are like a command line things. Okay, so this is about the creating a data processing, friends. So we have to create a models. So here we are doing summarization and sentiment analysis. For these two tasks we are using Hugging Face. So for sentiment model name, financial Beth model, and summarization we are using Pegasus model. Okay, that's what for the I have created these variables. So we have to create the FineBet model for financial Bet model for sentiment analysis. Okay, first from SageMaker.Hugging Face we have to import Hugging Face model, friends. In the hub we have to define model ID. What is the model ID, which model you are using, and what is the task. So sentiment analysis is like a text classification, right? So that's why I use a text classification. So we have to define a Hugging Face model class, friends. Okay, so sentiment Hugging Face model in this instance we have to pass what is the model name. Okay, which version you want to use for transformer, what is the PyTorch version, what is the Python version, what is the environment, so hub, and the role and session. So all these are defined. Okay, then inputs. So we have to create a model input. For that we are using this instance, and we are creating a sentiment model stuff, friends. So we have to create a model step in this So this is the model name and the sentiment tagging phase model. This is the name of the step, and the model we have defined earlier, and the inputs we have defined. Okay, here. So we have to create a Pegasus. So here we have created a sentiment model, friends. Now we have to create a summarization model. So same hub and task. Task is a summation, summarization of model ID. What is the model ID of Pegasus? Then we have to create a model class, friends. What we define for a sentiment, same we have to define for a summary. Okay, Hugging Face model name. What is the name of the thing you want to do? Summarization model name, the transformer version, PyTorch version, Python version. What is the environment role and session? Okay, after that we have to create. Here we define. Here we have to create. So using create model stuff name. Okay, what is the name? Okay, another model above we have defined and the inputs. Then we have to register, friends. So use Hugging Face register method to register Hugging Face model for deployment. Okay, so sentiment model package group name. So Hugging Face sentiment model package group. For summary, Hugging Face summary model packaging group. Okay, model approval status approved. Okay, then we have to register sentiment model stuff. Okay, in the Hugging Face model registry, under the summary model we have to, these two things we have to register, friends. Okay, for that sentiment model step registration we have to take a method called register model or a function name. Okay, name is a financial birth register model we have defined sentiment Hugging Face model, content times JSON, and the response time in the JSON only. Inference instance we have defined. Okay, whatever instance you want to define, and transform instance also we are defining, and model package group sentiment model package group name and approval status we have defined earlier and depends upon so this is the create model, it depends upon this. And for summary also we have to take register model, here name Pegasus model, and model summary Hugging Face model, and content time JSON only, content also response also JSON only, instances what instance you want to define. And for model package group summary model package group, and approval also we have defined above and defined based upon Pegasus model create model. Okay, then command deploy model. So we deploy the find bed and Pegasus models from the model registry. So these models in the model registry are pre-trained version of the Hugging Face model hub, friends. Each of the deployment step will attempt to deploy SageMaker endpoint with the model and will write a property file upon successful completion. This pipeline will make use of these property files to decide whether to execute subsequent summarization and sentiment analysis in the inference steps. So for deploying we have to use some instances. For that I am defining. So for deploy model instance type ml.m4 I am 4x large, and how many instances you want? One only. For sentiment model, so that is the sentiment endpoint name, and so financial birth model endpoint, and for this Pegasus model endpoint. Okay, so we have to using S3 client upload file. I am uploading the file name, bucket, key, and the same deploy model script URI. So this variable we are defining all those things, and we are creating a deployment URI, friends. Okay, so we are defining now here deploying model process. Okay, so script processor, command Python, image, and role instance and type, all those things. For sentiment also sentiment underscore deploy response, the property file name, output name, and the path. Okay, deploy. So now this is the response. Now it come under deploy step. So same processing step name, which model you are using, under the what is the processor, deploy model processor. Okay, output. So SageMaker dot processing dot process output, what is the output name, source. Okay, and the destination where it should be there, all the processing steps. So these are job arguments are command line tools. Okay, all those things, friends. Same for summary also we have to define summary deploy property file, all those things will be common, friends. Okay, now we have to create a pipeline conditions to check if the endpoint deployments were successful or not. Okay, so from SageMaker.workflow we have to input all the necessary things. So this is summary script URI, friends. Okay, from S3 we are passing all those things. and the sentiment condition okay, we are checking some condition equals left is equal to JSON got, so the left value of the evaluation expression step name and property file and the JSON pod, okay, and the right equal to y, the right value of the evaluation expression. For summary also we have to do like this, the condition equal left equal to JSON get step name and Pegasus model property summary deploy response JSON path, right, and summarize processor, okay, script processor command image all those. So summarize step 2 processing step, okay, same we have defined in the above, okay. Let's come into, so here some code is there, I will explain in the above, all the description I have mentioned here. So deploy condition step, so this is a condition step method, friends. So this code block initialization in condition step using the condition step class and assigns it to the deploy condition step variable. So this condition step is used to define branching logic based upon specified conditions. So there are some parameters of in the condition step function. So name, okay, specify the name of the, it will specify the name of the condition step and conditions, sentiment condition equation equal, and what are the conditions we put. Two tasks we are doing, right, sentiment and summary. So all the things we are checking, is it endpoint deployed or not, okay. For that I am passing those conditions. If steps, summarize step 2, so specify the steps to execute if the conditions evaluate to true. In this case the summarize step 2 is included in the already in the steps list. It is assumed that summarize step 2 is defined elsewhere in the pipeline, okay. Else steps, so specify the steps to execute if the condition evaluate to false. So if the condition is not satisfied, this else condition will come, friends. So all those depends upon the better deploy model and the Pegasus deploy model, okay, all those things. So it depends upon this, right. That's what we are doing. Deploy condition step, what are the condition step, which conditions we have to check, okay. Beth model, financial Beth model deploy condition check, we have to do the conditions, sentiment condition, summary conditions. If there are any another steps, if those steps are true, conditions are true, then it will come, otherwise else, okay. So this is all about, friends. Then we are summarizing the report. So this step is to make use of Pegasus summarize model endpoint to summarize the MDN text from the SCSC report, okay. So I'm for this code snippet I am explaining sentiment underscore processor, the script processor, this line creates an instance of the script processor class and assign it to the sentiment processor variable, okay. There are some parameters, command, which command, image URI, role, instance count, instance type, already you have all those things, friends. Then we have to upload, this line uploads the sentiment file to the, so we are uploading all the sentiment analysis script to the S3 bucket, okay. So for that we have to use upload file command, what is the file name, where in which bucket this should be there, and the summarize step 1 processing step, so in this the processing step consists of name, okay, and the processor, okay, which processor, and the what are the inputs, okay, and the same outputs, what are the outputs, and the source and destination, some same job command line tools will be there. For step 2 also the processing step, name, processor, and the inputs, same outputs, output, destination, same. Then we have to do inference, friends. So this sentiment so using same script processor command, image URI, role, these are common for sentiment script URI. From this we are taking all those things, so we are uploading all the file names, okay. Same here two steps will be there, sentiment step 1, okay, and sentiment step 2. So processing, we are processing sentiment 1 inputs and the outputs, same inputs and the outputs, same condition, friends, okay. This is all about checking, friends. So then we are defining pipeline, okay. So combine pipeline steps and run. So pipeline name, financial bed SCCD deployment pipeline, that's what we are providing the name. So this assigns the name to the pipeline name variable. Okay, so this line creates a new, this pipeline equal to pipeline method creates a new instance of the pipeline class. So there are some parameters in this class, name, the pipeline name, the parameters. So it has some list of parameters that can be passed to the pipeline. Okay, and the steps. So this is a pipeline I am defining, that is the name I am giving. So so pipeline class, what is the name of the pipeline, the parameter, processing instance type, processing how many instance count will be there, what is the model, inference, and the data, same steps, which is the step, data set step, condition step, deploy step, and sentiment step 1, sentiment step 2. Okay, then pipeline dot upset, this line invokes the upset method to pipeline object to create or update the pipeline. Okay, then we have to upset. So it will allow, or we can, using this upset method, we can define or modify the pipelines, friends, in the Amazon SageMaker. Okay, so this code snippet I am explaining here. Start response, pipeline dot start, this line initiates the execution of pipeline. So the start method is called on the pipeline object, and the response from starting the pipeline is assigned to the start response variable. Okay, so it contains information about the pipeline execution, about like a execution ID. So the start response dot wait, some parameters will be there, like delay, 60 maximum atoms. So this line waits for the pipeline execution to complete. It uses the wait method of the start response object to wait for the execution status to reach the terminal state. So the delay parameter specifies the number of seconds to wait, okay, between polling for the status. The max atoms, the parameter sets the maximum number of polling atoms. Okay, then start response that describe. So this line, okay, so this line retrieves the description of the pipeline execution. So this method is called on a start response object, and it returns information about the execution, including status. Okay, all those things, friends. Okay, so we are defined, and coming to evaluation results, friends. So once the pipeline execution complete, we can download the evaluation data from S3 and we can view it. So we have to download, right? That's why we are using S3 client.download file. So it will download the file and the which bucket where the file is located, and this is the some like a path of the file within S3 bucket. It is constructed using the prefix variable. Okay, and this is local file path where the download file will be saved. Okay, so this line downloads the CSV file into pandas. So for downloading, we have to, in which bucket we have to, from where it is located, all those things. Okay, then after defining, so here up to that pipeline is deployed, all those things completed, friends. After that, we have to delete the SageMaker pipelines using pipeline.delete method. So it will delete the pipelines. So we have two things, right? Sentiment pipeline and summary pipeline. That's why we have to do 2 times delete. That's why I'm doing this one. So this is all about end-to-end MLOps of some company sentiments analysis using AWS Python, friends. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel and please click on link